And now, after wowing us on Strictly Dance Floor, Debbie McGee went on to have an incredible year in the spotlight. But in October, her focus turned to her own health when she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Well, unbeknown to most of us, in the last few weeks and months, Debbie has undergone extensive treatment to make her better. And today, we're very glad to say that she's here looking incredible, I have to say, as always. It's lovely to see you. So I think we can start with this message because I think it is the most important one. You are brilliant at looking after yourself and you have always been very regular at going for mammograms whenever you went to smear tests, anything to do with your health that is important to you.
Absolutely. Since I was in my 20s, I've always had regular smear tests and mammograms. And, you know, of course I'm fit. I've never been ill before. And, you know, every time I go, they'll say, bye, Debbie, OK, you know, see you in a couple of years or whatever. But this time, it proved it was worth going for them for all these years because they've caught it so early. It's what they call the DCIS stage, which means the tissues have changed, but it isn't full-blown cancer yet.
Right.
But within a few months, I knew in October, they told me I had a window till the end of January.
Wow.
But it really probably was because they had my mammogram and then they looked at the one from a couple of years before and could see there was something that wasn't on that one.
That's incredible.
You know, so that's why I want to talk about it, because nobody wants to talk about being ill. I don't want sympathy. I'm brilliant, and life for me in another 4 weeks won't be any different to what it was before.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm in that position is because I had regular mammograms.
Yeah.
And my surgery was, you know, really quite non-invasive at all. I had my dressings off last Wednesday because I had the operation 11 days ago. I'm back at work now. I'm just saying, don't get me too much. I don't want to work 7 days a week like I normally do. So I'm working about 4 days a week and resting properly in between. But I couldn't see where they went in and took these 2 tiny little tumours out. You know, I can't see it.
That's incredible.
You know, I'll get these dressings. I've still got some dressings on, but they're just like, you know, a little plaster, really. They'll come off tomorrow night, and then it's a matter of, just letting the insides heal. But I don't look any different. And I think to a woman, you know, when I was diagnosed and I was on my own that first day, you know, your immediate thing, I didn't think, oh, this could kill me or I'm going to go through chemo or whatever, which I've watched lots of my friends go through.
Yeah.
It was, oh, what am I going to look like? You know, hey, this is my bust.
Which is a very natural reaction.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's very vain.
Yeah.
And after I'd thought about it for 24 hours, because I didn't know what my treatment would be then, because I hadn't had the biopsies, I then thought, you know, being a Debbie brain, right, OK, whatever it is, I will deal with it, you know, and whatever I become and my body changes, I'll just grow into that and become that person.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of dealt with it. And then I had my biopsies on my birthday. And then they said, yeah, you definitely need surgery. And the first surgeon I saw gave me 3 options, one of which was a mastectomy, which different surgeons have different ideas. And my question to her was, does that guarantee it doesn't come back? And she said no. And I said, well, I don't want to go that route then if this is so small. So I actually eventually, I have my gynaecologist that I've gone to since my 20s is, of course, now a friend and his family. So we discussed it. And he said, I would prefer you to go with somebody I've worked with because I will be confident then that I know her work and this, that and the other. So, and she was, you know, a surgeon that really looked into all of the reports. I had an MRI scan, I had more blood tests, and she said, there's no reason to have a full mastectomy. You know, we can go in and get it, and then when the path reports come back, we'll decide then if there's more to get or whether you need radiotherapy or not. But, you know, I'm so lucky. It's why I'm partying, because she came back, you know, a week afterwards and said, you don't need anything else, just, you know, get better.
There's no history in the family of this?
No, I've had 2 cousins that have had it, but they're not kind of immediate family. So it's just, you know, we've all heard it. Go and get a mammogram, ladies. And
You must have thought, and you said a moment ago that, you know, you went in there the first time and you're on your own. Then, were there times when you thought, right, OK, well, what will Paul say? What will Paul say?
Yeah, because I think when I go through anything that makes me unhappy or I'm worried about, even decisions at the house, I'll always think, what would he have done or what would he have said? But this time, I missed him more because I actually thought if I've got to have a mastectomy or I'm going to be scarred, because they were talking about cutting right across my boob and things like that, and taking flesh from my thighs to rebuild, I thought, well, if Paul was here, I know whatever I look like, he would love me.
Yeah.
But now I'm on my own. Yes, of course, you think of what's my body going to look like? And I really missed him because I thought if he was alive, I would just be going through it with him, but I wouldn't have that extra worry, really.
You did say, and I think I read it, that you were saying that you wonder whether partly the stress of losing him may have been what triggered this. I mean, nobody really knows or any of that, but there's something in the back of your head that tells you you wonder.
Yeah, I just think that in the last, it's nearly 3 years now, I've gone through more stress than I've ever been through in my life because I've always been a coper. I am strong, I know I am.
You are.
But there have been moments in the last 3 years where, I suffered from anxiety at one point because I really was worried about my future. And I just do wonder, normally I cope. I'm positive. I don't worry about anything until I've got to worry about it. Even this, when I was going for the results last Wednesday night, which was the biggie, my sister said to me, why aren't you worrying? I'm sitting here waiting to go in with you and, I'm really frightened. I said, well, when they tell me I've got to be something to be scared of, I will worry. But until that moment, I won't. And I've always been like that. So, but over the last 3 years, there have been times that I really found it quite hard to cope.
Did you, was there a moment in the last, sort of few weeks where it's been the last few days, actually, that you weren't in control of when you wanted this information to be out there?
Yes, I had kept it a secret since October. When I was actually on the operating table was when my agent got the phone call from one of the papers to say that they knew that I was in there and they knew what I was in there for.
And they were going to run the story?
Yes, so we agreed to give an exclusive because in my head, through all of this, I thought I will get out there and talk about it because I think a part of being in the public eye is the one thing you can do is help everybody at home, show that we're humans as well. We live the same life, we just live it in the public eye. But I wanted to get over my operation and show everybody that I was well and, I'm looking a bit tired at the moment. Well, of course I am, because I've just come through an operation.
You don't look tired at all.
But I kind of didn't have that luxury. And I thought, well, if it's going to be out there, I'll talk about it now.
Well, I'm sorry that you didn't get the chance to do that in your own way. But it is important that you've spoken out today. There is no doubt about it. And we wish you well. We
you look
really
amazing.
do. You do. You always do.
I feel really happy. I'm really not thinking, oh, my God, I've gone through this. Hey, yes, I have, but it wasn't awful. I haven't gone through chemo. I haven't gone through that worry as has it spread anywhere else. I want everybody else to be in my position. And one quick thing I will say is that the Sun reported on Sunday as well, a great big piece, that I'm looking for love. Well, I've never, ever said that. I find it really embarrassing. And I'm just living and having a great time.
Well, I can't imagine you'd ever have to look for love, because love should come hammering at your door.
Matchmaker Mountain.
Yeah, I was just watching
Matchmaker
it.
Mountain.
Maybe they should do a celebrity one.
Listen, I've got an application form here somewhere.
No, I wouldn't do that. I think if you're going to meet somebody to fall in love with, it just happens to you. You don't look for it.
Quite right.
It's absolutely lovely to see you.
Great to see you both.
And I think also, I mean, you've been so positive. You are so positive. If you are watching this, maybe from a hospital today, maybe you're going through more serious therapy. Maybe you are having chemotherapy. Maybe you have got an operation coming up. And we just want to say loads and loads of love. We're thinking of you and be positive.
Yeah. And can I just say, talk about it? Because actually, I come from an era that you didn't talk about anything. And yesterday, I'm president of the Lady Taverners charity this year. I hosted my first event. And so many women in this room of 100 women came quietly and discreetly and said, we've been through it, look, we're still here, and then they give you advice.
Yeah, talk about it.
So talk about it.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thanks, Debbie. Thank you.